Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi. Well, now I've done it. So, if you could like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, I'd appreciate it. If you've been along this journey with me, I set up my laptop with a bunch of different distros, 10 to be exact. And always in that 10 spot, I had a bad distro in there. So, maybe not bad, it didn't work. So what I did after I produced that video, I'm thinking about what's next. I said, it's probably not fair what I did to Fedora, where I said it, or Nobara, that it didn't work. So I killed my partition. I made a new partition table, which deletes everything on your hard disk. So at the end, I had like 15 different separate partitions. And I installed Nobara. Now, it took a while. It wasn't easy. It had several hiccups where I had to start all over, where it didn't work. So it still wasn't easy. But I finally got it in there. And my idea was this. I'd have Nobara with KDE. I'd do Cachi with LXQT. Or LQX, whatever it is. And I do Mint. So I have about a gigabyte hard drive. So when I did Fedora, it took the whole hard drive. When I loaded Cachi, I said, okay, I was going to resize Fedora in Fedora, but Fedora won't let you do that. You can do that in Cachi, but you can't do that in Fedora. So I just said, oh, I'll do it when I load Cachi. So I load Cachi, do all that, put in LXQT. I was going to run Element or whatever it's called, that desktop environment. Anyways, make the hard drive smaller, do it. Then make a partition for Mint and have like the rest for like a lot larger for Steam. I do that, reboot the system. I rebooted into Fedora, it worked. Reboot into Cachi, it works. I've already pre-burned these on 3 different USB sticks. I go ahead to put that on Mint, won't install. It won't even boot up. It just errors out, errors out, errors out. I keep trying it. Oh, what's going on? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I've only loaded, over like the past month, I've only loaded probably about 40 or 50 distros onto that laptop. Always kind of ran into problems with Fedora. But I think I fixed it in this case. So I keep running it. Maybe the ISO is bad. So I download a second copy of Cinnamon, Mint, Linux Mint, Cinnamon. Still same problem. I changed the USB drive, which they've all been working. Doesn't work. I said, let me boot back into Fedora. It errors out. So that's the end of the experiments, YouTube, right? That's the end. This isn't a channel where I'm just going to keep constantly loading different distros and see if they'll work. Number one, this is my criteria. It's got to be able to play games, which means it's got to do NVIDIA. It's got to do Steam. Fedora didn't load Steam easy. So when I said load Steam from Nobara, when I said Nobara load Steam, it gave me to some Steam thing, then took me some to Steam page, and then I could download a Debian. Hey, I'm running Fedora. No thanks, Clive. So what I come to realize is this. By pure dumb luck, I went to the top of DistroWatch. It was CachiOS. I read a couple of reviews on it. And at the end of the day, I loaded CachiOS. Here's what I didn't realize. I first loaded it, and I picked Cachi because it could work on my handheld PC, Legion Go. I would get it if it wasn't such a pain in the butt to get it over here. I'm going to try to do that. You deserve it, YouTube. It's a pain in the butt, but whatever. Yeah. Crash, crash, bang, crash, right? So I have Cachi on this, right? My Legion Go. I have it on every computer I have in the house, or put it on there at one point in time. I have a tablet, $250 tablet I got from Chewy. It was a Windows tablet, put Linux on it, works great. Cachi works great. What I didn't realize what Cachi did, on my first computer I installed on, it had an AMD integrated graphics card. It's a newer AMD chip, so that was a pretty rip-roaring graphics card. Worked fine. I didn't realize out of the box that Linux has AMD stuff built into it. Then when I put it on my laptop, my G14, which is what I used to run everything on in my life, it automatically had the NVIDIA stuff. I didn't even have to worry about it. I just assumed every distro was like that. They're not. They're not. They're not. I assumed every distro could play Steam. That would automatically, if you made a distro, you'd make sure, darn sure Steam would run on it in OBS. It doesn't. Not everyone does. So at the end of the day, I wiped the drive and just put one big CachiOS. I didn't even make a separate drive where I got it. Nope, just CachiOS. This is what I'm going to tell you. It's the best operating system. It's better than Arch. It's better than Endeavor. Endeavor's good. It's better than Manjaro. It's better than Garuda. Now, all of those Arch-based distros have a lot of tools where you can tweak the kernel. You can, in almost every Linux Mint has that, where you can upgrade the kernel to like a 7.1. Not everyone loads NVIDIA real easy. Not everyone loads Steam, which to me baffles me. There's a lot of people, and so I was going to shame a lot of these AI-generated lists of what are the best gaming, and if it doesn't have CachiOS on it, there was one I found where people actually did benchmarks. They said, here's your best two, Cachi and Bazite. I can see how Bazite would maybe be good because your operating system's immutable, and then you'll flat pack games or do whatever else kind of on the outside. So that seemed like a bulletproof. It runs like an Xbox then. But anything that doesn't mention Cachi, number 1 or number 2, that's trash. That just trashes. People haven't done it. I've tried to load Fedora a million times. It doesn't load, and it doesn't work well. Every system you're going to have isn't going to have 2 distros. But I want you to think about distro hopping as a hobby. You need about 50 gigabytes. If you have a 1 terabyte, you can probably put easily 5 distros on there. It's going to cost you $250. What I didn't tell you about CachiOS, I said, well, what about Winboat? It has a button for Winboat. It has a button to do this. It has a button. So it has all the tools. It doesn't jerk around and make them all super graphical. They're not super text. The repository, the stuff have been redone up in CachiOS, optimized for Cachi, for the kernel and everything. It's just simply the best. The installation, and probably next video, I'll go over their installation thing and what their latest news, and I'll probably be a Cachi fanboy then at that point because it just works. It works on my 2016 laptop. It works on my 2026 Chewy Chinese Intel i3 Core 3 laptop. Works on everything. Works on my handheld. Works on everything. If you want to look at different distros, but you're not really looking at different distros, you're looking at different desktop environments, you can do that. But I could wax poetically, and maybe I will, about desktop environments, like some key features that fall down. I want to try something different, but they all fall short because the number one thing is you can't change the display very easily if it's X11. But traditionally, I just want my stuff to work. So, Saron and Kazi, there's one true distribution. That's Cachi by YouTube.